we rehearsed this startups summit. I'm one of the organizers. We rehearsed many presentations, and here we're speaking about the future, about creative industries, and our moderator presented our speakers. We decided rather than create a classical panel where everyone sits on a panel and answers questions, we probably do something warmer, something less formal, like friendly talk around the fire. Alexander Gagiev from Zvuk music service, our digital artist Kirill Rave, and the creator of UbiComb generative content platform, Eduard Maas. Friends, welcome. What are your impressions of the Startup Summit? On one hand, we were intensively preparing for it. On the other hand, we had not expected to see such a big audience, and we're immensely pleased. What are your first impressions? You've just come to your session, or you have had the time to see something else? This is fantastic. I don't remember ever seeing so many people attending a startup event. Yes, we, at least in Russia, we indeed have a lot of people attending. This is a pretty location, and I advise everyone to pick an apartment for you, because the apartments will be on sale, and now they are still fairly affordable. So it's good that I didn't say it, said the Sber representative. I rarely wake up so early to get here. So what time did you wake up? I got up at 8. Wow. Our session is planned for 2 hours. A lot of developments are taking place in both the startup economy and in creative economy. And we will discuss the creative economy in our country and worldwide. We will speak about world trends. On one hand, it's creative economy. On the other hand, it's AI that reinvents the way we create content, reinvents whole industries and the creators. I will not follow my script. I will just ask you, are you reinventing yourself? Do you think that we need to reinvent ourselves, or perhaps we should first look around and wait to see how technology will develop and how things will go? May I start? I realized, I think I read some research recently. AI influences some of your abilities when you use it intensely. And at some point, I realized that I want AI as assistant, only as assistant, and I will generate meanings and generate content as a human being. AI is a good assistant, but the way it influences creative industries. Recently at Sber, We brought together creators from many areas, especially music and music videos and film, and some IP holders and other creative professionals. And we discussed how at Sber, the department that provides services for creative professionals, what services they need, what features they require. And what we heard from the creators, they did not ask about features. They asked us how to train your models and how we as creators can make money helping you train the models. These are the two very real-life questions that creators are interested in. And the instruments, the tools that Sber and the entire industry produce, like GigaChat, Sinforno, and other tools distributed by Sber, they are already helping creators because the users of our Zvuk studio is already actively used by creators to generate their text, to generate covers for their releases. So what about earning money? Have they been earning more? The trend is worldwide trend that in the West, IP holders they found a way to stop models from generating certain content. And soon, perhaps, there will be a button where you can generate some hero by buying the IP from the IP holder. And perhaps you will be able to generate proprietary images after paying. This is not reality now. And the same in music generation. If you want to generate something that is already protected by IP, you won't be able to generate them. And we have not yet reached this stage, but at least AI helps creators, helps as assistant, and picks up the routine. Eduard, do I understand correctly that your startup is actually killing the advertising design departments because you create this advertising content quickly using AI? What do you think? Do you think that indeed you're killing some traditional advertising design? We're not killing anyone, but indeed the market is changing, and it's changing rapidly. Just a couple of years ago, we predicted a trend, the media on the with creative technologies. We need to understand that it is a tool. How many people are using this tool? Because the advertising design department in a corporation that produced advertising had a 15 people strong design department. Now perhaps three staff is enough. We have generated content for various areas. We produce content for television, for marketplaces, for sellers, for very small business where they need it to be affordable and fast. and we also integrate into cinema, into the film market, into advertising market. And just a year ago, everyone was somehow cautious. Today, every tender has creative professionals competing for funding, and generative content as well. It's a worldwide trend, and it's unlikely that it will be otherwise. And the lawyers have a lot of questions, also people who are concerned about being replaced by AI are asking questions. But it's important to know who is using this tool. This year, I took a course in philosophy to understand the context and to know at what level the context will interact with the neural network.
If you want to continue communicating on the same level, you can do that. But in case if you want to produce more content, and we know that content currently sells quite actively, content in social networks, in marketplaces, etc., then without laying off people, thanks to these tools, you can get more quality content. In the past, you wouldn't be able to afford it. In case if you think that we want to produce this content because people will consume it, but maybe very soon people will stop consuming such a diversity of content, and then there will be some alternative AI who will just skim through this content for you, and then it will summarize it for you. So as a result, we are making good content, but whether it's good for people, whether it's really content that's interesting for people or not, it's a philosophical question to the point of your new education. I agree with you completely. This topic concerns me personally. It's not much about business. It's more about philosophy, where we're going, because in the end, if we look at OpenAI, Sora, etc., what they're doing, to some extent, they're trying to create information bubbles and generate content where content is generated for you, but then a lot of difficult questions arise. For instance, how are we going to come out of these bubbles, because people are social creatures? How are we going to discuss this content? But so far, there's no answer to this question. We are being very responsible to our content. I guess AI user-generated content is currently being replaced by AI-generated content. It's dangerous because there will be a lot of garbage on the internet. How people will choose? I guess the key role is with the human. We will see. So you're not making a mess, but people are abusing a generation. We see as a streaming platform, even me, I'm connected with music industry. For some reason, currently there are a lot of technical people who have no relation to music, but with the help of tools, they somehow decided that they're musicians. And in a few minutes, they will create something genius, and they have to share it with the whole world. With me, particularly, per day, I get 10 to 15 messages from different people, from different industries. They're just playing with it, and then they try to upload it to some platforms. And it's a huge burden for all streaming platforms. We are making effort to protect platforms from low-quality content that's done in 2 clicks. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge that we are faced with now. It's putting a pressure on us. This is the first part. And second part, if we talk about quality content, I'd like to draw your attention. Despite all the conversations of enthusiasts, a product that will be in demand, a music product that will be in demand, AI has not created that yet. AI has not generated a music product that will be in demand among audience, not even close. So in terms of potential, I used to be a producer, and I can say that as a tool that can create something. We producers do not perceive AI as something that can create something. Judging based on the nature of AI, it can mix things together, or may foresee the next letter, the next note, etc. But coming up with a new genre, AI cannot do that. And most likely, for a long time, AI will not be able to create. And what AI can do now, like in the Black Star, we had an algorithm that would predict by a media file whether the content that it has analyzed is in line with what is in top charts currently. So we started doing it long ago, this forecasting, mass hit forecasting feature. Do I hear you right that AI has never created a new product? So for dummies, AI, or maybe for somebody who wants to try, AI is a nice tool to turn your idea into, with the help of SimFormer or with the help of Suna, thanks to neural network, to turn it into a music prototype. You can scratch your back this way, but it's not an industry yet. It's only about creativity, but that's in your kitchen. Yeah, but using the right tools and using music generation, then you can use them efficiently. It's used by pros, and it makes their lives easier. They can get inspired. They see new things this way. So they can prototype. It's good for prototyping for professionals in music. But when dummies start doing this, then they start feeling that they are great creators, but we are tired of that. And objectively, if we look at the youth audience, then there's a lot of AI in product, video, audio, AI. The youth perceives it as the fact that you saved money. It was cost cutting. So we have a few ideas for startups. First, the right AI filtering of content that's being created, whether it's visual content, music content. We will also talk about true creativity. And this is the first opportunity. And the second opportunity is to create such services, to create such products that are able to develop prototypes. And these prototypes can be then developed to mass matter, and maybe this is a potential for platforms, because platforms are interested in taking some half-baked products and develop them to a real product, and that it will fly and will be monetized. Kirill, my question is to you. On the weekend, once per month, I think I'm a digital artist. On the one hand, I make some sketches, I upload them to neural network, then I get some result. Sometimes this result I print it out on a piece of paper and I put it on walls. But I believe that AI really helps me who is talentless, actually. And AI motivates me to create and to make this art. But do you feel competition that through AI, dummies or amateurs are invading into your space? Do you get inspired by AI yourself? And what's going to happen in your industry, in your job, in your area in the nearest time? Can I catch the previous question as well? I have an audio-visual project, and I'm interested, in terms of media art, I'm interested in the definition, which includes visual and sound components. A lot of things irritate me as well. A lot of things irritate me in life, and I would like to handle it somehow. And also there are things that inspire me. So I came up with an analogy in creative in the area, particularly well you can see it in Europe. In Europe, there are different layers of artistic people. You can be on a high level of art. You work and you cooperate with museums, with institutions. You can cooperate with galleries, or you can just buy a space, like a venue for a weekend, and you can invite your relatives and your friends there, and they will give you a round of applause to your amateur paintings. I guess the things that irritate us, we need to process them. over there, this industry is the industry of amateurs, so to speak. And they have this industry, and it's all right. I don't think it's bad. In case if there are people who want to try, they just do it not for free, and they don't waste somebody's time. And there are other people who sift through them. I think that it's important to make sure that people develop their mind and try new things. In case if you have an idea that you're obsessed with, maybe I'm a genius and I will make a painting and I will sell it for many million and I will go to the islands. The same relates to business. It's the same model everywhere. I would support giving the opportunity to this person, for the person to realize that it's actually a lot of work. And going forward in the future, the person would come to an idea that he needs to get education first. And I wanted to get us to an idea that no matter what I do, whether it be words, music, or architecture, or anything, like, I've been using AI for the last few years, but I've been in the industry for 12 years. So I'm not ready to throw away 10 years of my life and to offer it all to AI. There will be more revelations and there will be more innovations, obviously. So we're in synergy with AI. We are meeting the needs that relate to some crazy tasks. For instance, I love torturing AI. I keep on asking very stupid questions to AI, and it's fun. Does it mean that you don't save water? We don't save anything. I try to stick to conscious consumption, but I will not lie that my expenses for AI subscriptions are growing because I'm developing together with AI and my needs are growing together with AI. But it makes me happy that a crazy person can come to us. For instance, as I've been an architect, the main architect of projects for 12 years. Somebody can come to us and say, you know, I want a house that is truck-shaped. It's funny, but somebody really asked this. We will generate it for him now. A truck-shaped house. If you have money, you can make it happen. But maybe the person at some point will think that in his mind, this idea is much better rather than in reality. And trying on this unfavorable variations can be beneficial, but sometimes it may be bad because the hammer is not to blame. The hammer is not a culprit. The way I hear you, Alexander and Kirill, the way I hear you, AI creates an additional entertainment industry. You can entertain on your own, and it's a part of creative industry. Going forward, you can create a lot of hubs around it for personal exhibitions for amateurs. You can create spaces for publishing. You can publish tunes and music, and you can issue it. And it's a vanity fair. It's a fair of trial and error, and it's amazing. It's great. But the question is, how will it change the environment, and how we, being overwhelmed with this content, how are we going to tell the difference between some mass content from the truly valuable content? I guess it's a philosophical question. This is why I like how Eduard said that you need to take a philosophy course in order to understand what happens to us, and in order to shape the ethics of this world. Agents. AI agents, you mean? Just to build on that, AI agents who will filter it for you, right? Yes, a gigantic filter for all creative industry. Yeah. Previously, we had voicemails. Maybe when you don't want to answer the call, then you just switch it to voicemail. Then you can listen it at speed X2. And the industry walks in circles. It gets back to the previous steps, and it intensifies some previous know-hows in order to reduce time to consume information. So filters are always there. They have always been there. We've always had filters. I love watching the music industry, for instance. Previously, labels would do this. Labels would cherry pick who deserves to become a celebrity, and then the audience would listen to the artists cherry picked by labels. But now there are a lot of platforms where people vote what they want to listen to. So there's a different effect. But I truly believe that this distribution of responsibilities is inevitable simply because the amount of information is growing, and we need to learn to consume this information in a way that we stay sane somehow. I'm against digital slavery, but digital detox may also be necessary. You just need to find the right balance. Thank you very much. My question to Eduard. In your view, who is the most efficient in making money on AI? AI creators, of course, are making a great revenue. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Sber, they're making revenue, and Yandex is making revenue. They are not making revenue on it in the here and now. I mean, on LLM models, they're not making revenue on it right now because infrastructure and development is very investment intensive. But small companies, and you have a small startup currently. Small startups can make the most of AI, and you can invest less in R&D thanks to AI. So who invests here, and who makes the most of it? Who makes revenue? Who monetizes on it? And who will start losing in the future? It's a great question. Well, clearly now those who find a quick application, they make revenue on this. For routine tasks, particularly. We know the cases with legal AI agents. We heard about cases that relate to search and corporate AI agents. There are a lot of this. They grow very fast. A lot of small startups, because the entry threshold is quite low based on the technologies of large players. They are implementing this. In terms of graphics, of course, there are a lot of media producers. We are not talking about high-level quality or TV quality, but in case if it's OLV advertising or something like that, then there are a lot of things are getting implemented, and agencies start making things to this matchmaking. They even write down creative concepts and they sell them at a high cost. In the end, it gets standardized, and we will get quality standards, and then most likely, who's going to make money on this? I guess infrastructural projects will make money. We bet on building universal and unique pipelines tailored to clients, whether it's media, TV channels, synthetic media. It's not when you just press a button, but content, it's adjusted to your content, to your processes, and it's like a flow adjusted to you. What else is interesting? There's a lot of noise. But we have been in a similar situation when social networks just emerged, and when cameras, video cameras and photo cameras became available on cell phones. We got a lot of rubbish content. Some of it content is expensive. Some of it content is cheap. UGC got generated. I guess it's going to happen the same way here, just like with user-generated content. There are UGC artists, by the way. They are like bloggers, but they create their content with their idea, with creativity, with some potential, and they are watched on mass platforms. They get a lot of views. By the way, YouTube says that they ban this content, but they actually don't ban this content because they make money on this advertising. So there's a lot of trash that they'd rather delete, but they are not deleting it. I guess with the help of AI in creative economy and generation of content, we'll get a lot from the new generations, those who are AI native, and for them it's going to be organic to make money and to solve all the tasks and to make money thanks to advertising based on the content that they will be creating thanks to generative AI. Thank you very much. We have to move forward. It was a pleasure talking to you. Now let me invite on stage our guests. Ekaterina Cherkes-Zade, Agency for Strategic Initiatives, and she's one of the founders of Universal University. She's ex-British. And Giulnara Agamova, Agency of Creative Industries in Moscow. Thank you for joining us. How do you like Startup Summit? How much time did you have to take a look around and to feel the environment and the drive and the energy? Thank you for the invite. I think it's a great endeavor. We need a community of entrepreneurs who would develop our country. So I believe Sber has always has been this point of gravity for a lot of startups for a long time. I've seen a lot of my graduates here. This is the first great impression. So I believe it's great. First of all, hello. Second, I believe that the amount of guests in this audience and at the Startup Summit is self-indicative, so it's super successful. Okay, let's have a look at the from the standpoint of education industry. Let's have a look how startups are developing in creative economy. Startups may not be technological. This may be some folk crafts or some other things, some other startups, but it's a small business that has a good potential in terms of capitalization as well, among other things. To what degree do you believe this is a growing topic, and what this growth is going to lead to, and what is missing currently for us to really become a strong tech generator and meaning generator and narrative generator? Because creative economy is narrative generation, visual images generation. Katya, let's start with you, then we'll hand over to your colleague. The question is multifold. Yeah, I'm falling silent at this point. Let's go step by step. First of all, for a long time, indeed, everything that relates to creative industries and everything that relates to business, for a long time, it has been perceived by our people in different ways. You're saying these are creators and they're artists. For a long time, we've been fighting this bias that an artist does not have to be hungry. And if we talk about economy, and we're formulating this track in developing creative industries, and we're shaping industries in Russia as they are, the main role belongs to producers, not to artists only, and usually it's about tandems. In some tandem, you may be more creative and more art-oriented. Somewhere you may be more business-oriented. This is why you're wearing a T-shirt that says producer. Yes, exactly, for this reason. But we have a producers club as well, and I kindly invite you to our producers club, because producers club unites entrepreneurs around creative industries throughout the whole range of industries, and we have 9 of them throughout the country, including Moscow and St. Petersburg, of course. So we are looking forward to seeing you at these events. On the other hand, I would really like to clearly state the understanding. When we talk about creative industries, it's SMEs, indeed, small and medium enterprises. If we talk about 4.6 million people that are engaged in creative industries, 50% of them are freelance, and many of them are self-employed, so the turnover is like 2 million rubles. Then we go towards larger organizations. It's individual entrepreneurs and larger companies. So individual entrepreneurs account for 70% of the remainder. So actually, if we get back to the question, what it means that we need to grow these businesses, we need to invest in these businesses, and we need to create additional opportunities for this business's growth. And also, I wanted to comment on creative industries, and more ambition is needed there. Some creative industries do not want to be large. I would really like them to become large, but some of them don't. We had a great session about investments in creative industry, and I think this is the main question from the other side. How can you make sure that startups in creative industries would grow? Indeed, people invest more in those creative startups that are created to technology, so creativity plus IT. Could you make some examples? There are a lot of examples. In terms of investments, why is it this way? It's this way because in the portfolio of all ecosystems in the country, and currently we don't have many creative projects that would go on IPO. I don't know many projects in Russia that would go on IPO. Actually, in the world also, there are very few creative objects that would do IPO. Many of them raise funding, but very few of them go on IPO. Yeah, and it's a tricky point. It's very interesting. If you look at 20 most top 20 capitalized companies in Russia, or in the world, I mean, this list get updated, and there are no oil companies there. There are no such companies there. Tech companies and creative companies, platforms and social networks and marketplaces. So it's between creativity and IT. This is globally. If we talk about Russia, then the problem is from the investment standpoint, because creative project development usually ends its life when it gets part in M&A and it gets sold to an ecosystem, including Sber. Sber also takes a part in creative industry these days. So these days it's like this, and we have held 2 sessions about investments to creative economy, and I'm very much interested in making sure that creative startups could get a loan, they could take out a loan, they could raise investments, and they could have a valuation, because oftentimes it's not easy to evaluate creative business. Also, it's talent-centric business, and it means that it's linked to the leader of the project and the team of the project. So when you acquire this business, and it's not easy, it may suffer in case if this team exits. Have you discussed some support measures or support for creative startups? For us, it was important, first of all, it was important to make sure that financial groups and investors would see interest for them to see how it works and would start considering this. This is why we expect that in the nearest time, there will be more interest and more ways to interact with creative industries in terms of business. How to invest in movies, how to invest in gaming, how to invest in other areas, because these are donations, or maybe you can get great designers, and maybe you can reassemble. For instance, Nizhny Novgorod, I think all of you have heard about the project between Akhmadulina and Khokhlama, and there was a boutique open in GUM at the spot where Chanel store used to be. I think it's a great opportunity, and thanks to great design, this store is super popular these days, and it's trendy again. So creativity really helps to provide for a nice wrap for it, and then you just need to formulate the right mechanisms. We are on our way in terms of formulating these mechanisms, and every region incentivizes it their own ways to make sure that teams feel very well with this. It's a great bridge to Giulnara. Yeah, hi everyone. I would take a step back. First of all, I don't like it when creative industries are separate from business. I think they are connected with business. When I joined Agency of Creative Industries, we formulated the strategy. Whom do we support? What do we do? How do we go there? How do we go there? And our main task is to integrate creative industries into normal businesses. This is the key task that we have, because normal business without creative industry is not competitive now. It's losing. This is the first statement. Second statement, currently any person, any company is chosen based on impressions. So impressions and experiences is the key factor of competitiveness, and impressions get generated by creative industries. One more statement. We held a survey. How much a Muscovite spend for leisure per day? How much money does every Moscow resident spend for residence? Digital leisure, is it counted in? Yep. I would say 250 rubles per day. No, time. I mean time. How much time every Muscovite spends for leisure? 4 hours. Okay. It's statistics. It's no. Consciously, they spend only 2 hours per day. But in the background mode, for instance, when I'm jogging and listening to audiobook or listening to music during jogging, and I'm jogging for 1 hour, so per day, a Muscovite spends 8 hours for this background entertainment. So when we're jogging, we're consuming content, and in case you run for 1 hour, then it's 2 hours. It counts as 2 hours. when we engage in this leisure, we want to get an impression. Creative industry in regular business, impression is the key factor that determines the choice. And in case if we switch to small creative industries, then, for instance, in case if you're offered 2 cups, you don't need cups, actually. Neither this nor that. But you're said that this cup was made by a girl, a 7-year-old girl, and she studies and she helps her parents, and at night she builds it herself. And you will buy this cup anyway, even if the price is above average. So for business, in our agency of creative industries, first we had to do explaining for business how much creative industries are needed for them, how much money they will bring. Because at the start it was not easy, because neither creative industries nor business could see the benefit in this. But at some point we realized that redesign of packaging can double the revenue. And when you tell business, see, this is why you need creative industry, here are the numbers. And then people perceive it differently. People see it differently. Oh, why art is needed in business? Why would developers need art? And when you explain that it increases the cost per square meter, then you don't need to tell them why they need art in their activity.
Speaking about Moscow, our objective is not just to support creative industries, whether it's artisanry, although there's none in Moscow, or games. First, to make it visible. And actually, any decision that is made, it's creative, it's design of a decision. We generate demand, we build a city that is attractive, and we create an infrastructure for the development of creative business. I can go on and on, just stop me. For me, creative industry is not just a series of small areas. In Moscow, creative industries are more an integral part of the city economy than manufacturing industry, for example. It's even more important for Moscow. And this soft power, creative industries run through everything. I'm speaking to the mic. It's an example of creative industry. And when people ask, what are startups in creative industry, I am surprised. When I first came to work in Sber, I realized that creative industries are part of the foundation of business. There are startups, creative startups, which are a lot in Moscow. We support them with loans. We have the Moscow Innovation Cluster, and they make loans secured by IP. It is kind of complicated because you need to perform assessment, but it is possible. We provide systemic support. We have created infrastructure, and we are entering the global market. When speaking of which startups and creative industries we support, that depends on the viral content. In Korea, they support the viral content in creative industry. Some games, music, and mega projects. We have a set of tools, and we actually have a playbook of what industries have priority for us. There is a frame where you can, and if you get into it, you can access support. Yes, I understand, but is there any logic? Because some of the people in the audience may be interested in setting up their own business in creative industry in Moscow. The Agency of Creative Industries, if you go to our website and also to the iMoscow platform of Moscow government, they're all together. A creative startup is no different from a technology startup. So do you understand that all businesses consume creative products and produce creative products? Yes. When we designed our support measures, we thought perhaps we need to train creative professionals how to do business. But then we realized that we don't need to do that. They just need to create. Creators need to create, but they need producers who will package their creative product and sell it. So iMoscow, Agency for Creative Industries, and we did not single out Moscow-based companies. We provide support to the entire Russia, and people from other countries can also come over and participate in our funded creative projects. And as for AI, I do not think that it will replace creators, replace humans. They're assistants. They're full-fledged, personalized assistants. They provide whatever you need. They can train you in what you need to be trained. For me, there is a direct link between AI and creative industries. And my question is, what is the share of AI uptake in creative industries or perhaps more broader Moscow business? We did research, 75% on companies of creative industries use AI, and those who do not are prepared to use AI. We did some internal research, and we know that, for example, in any industry, AI covers a large proportion of work. We observe what projects actively use AI, and once a month we have presentations and pictures from producers for us and for companies in the audience who want to see. When most of startups, if they don't produce some physical objects, most of them are based on AI. Fashion plus AI, film plus AI. There is international festival, film plus AI. Yeah, film. And fashion as well. Because it used to be some people would get together and discuss trends that would emerge 2-3 years from now. Now AI is doing that and determines the fashion. I heard about the first contract with an AI actress. The future that we saw in the Black Mirror series, it is now here. Thank you for your answers. And although we started 20 minutes later, and 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 I have a large red sign saying stop in front of me. But looking at you, I can see that the future of creative industries and AI cannot be stopped. Thank you for being with us.